Good afternoon. This is Patrick McCullough, forecaster here at the National Weather Service office in San Angelo. Update about 2:30 p.m. on our winter weather upcoming across west central Texas. And we will say first that things really haven't changed much over the last 24 hours. So what we been talking about for the last 24 hours looks like it's still well on its way to happening here in the next 24 to 48 hours. Again, the greatest threat area probably the big country starting as early as a Thursday. We're starting to see some indications that the threat is starting to spread down toward Ballinger, Coleman, and Brownwood as well, where significant ice accumulations could develop. The timing, again, we're talking about mainly Thursday into noon Friday. It may linger a little bit with some snow flurries, some freezing drizzle well into the weekend, actually. But for right now, the brunt of the storm looks like Thursday, especially Thursday night, Friday morning. Let's say sunset Thursday night to noon on Friday looks like the best time frame, the time frame when the most likely precipitation will be, the heaviest precipitation will be occurring. Impact-wise, again, dangerous driving conditions on area roadways. Bridges and overpasses always the first to freeze up, but the difference between this storm and the last storm was that last storm temperature was right around 32 degrees, and the ice just had a hard time developing on roadways, period. This storm, we're talking about temperatures falling well into the 20s, maybe even the teens across the big country. That means that any of this freezing rain or sleet that falls will stick pretty much instantaneously, and ice will develop very quickly. So, again, icy roadways are going to be the biggest impact this time around. If enough freezing rain falls, and again, we're a little uncertain how much of it's going to come out as freezing rain and how much of it's going to come out as sleet, the more freezing rain that develops, the greater threat we do see to power lines and to tree damage as well. So that's something we will be keeping a very close eye on here in the next 24 hours. The exact timing, again, we think and continue to think that maybe as early as sunrise Thursday morning, may start to see a little bit of ice from Haskell and Throckmorton down toward Anson and Rotan, perhaps into the Sweetwater area. Again, at this point, probably ground temperature is still a little warm at this point, and not much in the way of accumulation, but maybe starting to fall at that point. Biggest threat really probably begins by Thursday afternoon, covering the entire big country, Interstate 20 northward, Abilene, Sweetwater, Rotan, Anson, Haskell and Throckmorton, Albany, Clyde, Barrett areas, but also starting to spread into the northern Concho Valley as well, down toward Sterling City, Coleman, Sterling City, Robert Lee, and Ballinger by Thursday afternoon to around sunset to Thursday evening. Again, sunset Thursday evening, probably spreading further south toward Coleman and Brownwood into the rest of the Concho Valley, including the city of San Angelo as well. And then for the rest of west central Texas, including the Interstate 10 corridor from Ozona down towards Sonoran Junction and the Brady, Mason, and San Saba areas, it looks like Thursday evening, probably after sunset, probably after midnight, but certainly some icy conditions will be developing across these areas as well. The further south you go, down toward Ozona, Sonora, and Junction, the less sleet you will likely see and the more freezing rain you will see. We don't expect totals to be as high, but again, with temperatures falling into the 20s, even a little bit of ice will create some real difficult travel conditions down on the Interstate 10 corridor. For storm totals and kind of what we're expecting out of the whole thing, again, the area from Sweetwater down toward Ballinger, over into the Coleman and Brownwood areas, northward. That includes Sweetwater, include Abilene, include the Ballinger, Coleman, and Brownwood areas north through Abilene to Haskell and Throckmorton. Talking some sort of ice, freezing rain and sleet accumulation, perhaps a half inch of sleet with a quarter inch of freezing rain. A little hard to tell exactly how that's all going to mix up and mix together and split up at this point, but we're definitely looking at some significant ice accumulations. Further south from, say, Sterling City down toward Ballinger, south of Ballinger especially, Sterling City down toward San Angelo, Eden, Brady and San Saba areas. Still looking at some ice accumulations, maybe 1/10 to 1/4 inch. Certainly enough to create some real difficult travel conditions. But maybe something that if you use a little precaution, not nearly as dangerous as if you're trying to drive further north across Abilene, Sweetwater, those areas up there. Again, the Interstate 10 corridor down toward Ozona, Junction, Sonora areas. probably still talking about a tenth of an inch of ice, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but we've seen significant travel difficulties and Interstate 10 closed down with way less than a tenth of an inch of ice. It just doesn't take very much to create some real dangerous travel conditions. The one thing we will mention that if you are thinking about traveling further north and east from West Central Texas into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, much worse conditions up that direction by Friday morning. So we're kind of on the tail, the starting point of some of this, much further, much worse conditions if you head to the north and east. So if you're thinking about traveling up there Friday, you might want to start rethinking about some of your plans. Thank you, and we'll continue to keep you updated.